Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show this evening as a one and only Bridgeman and my mucker Jaffa. Evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Ox. Evening, Bridge.
Oh, can I say a huge good evening to you guys? A big good evening to the technical people and to all the Rangers fans all over the world listening in. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Yeah, how are you, Jaffa? How are you, mate?
Very well, Ox. I'm glad to be back at it. Looking forward to Thursday. Counting down the hours. Can't wait to get the football back, mate.
Here. And Bridge, you must be finding it particularly cold or Baltic is a word, consider you've been in a tropical paradise, yeah?
I'm sitting there with a big jumper on me. I'm ready to put a blanket on me.
Oh, Bridge, turn the bar of the fire on, mate.
Oh, tell me. No. We don't have anything like that. But really and truly, you're right. The difference when we've stepped off that bloody plane. Oh, wow. Oh, well. Shocking.
My heart bleeds, Jaffa,
It's a snood you're needing, Bridge. It's one of the new snoods.
Right, okay, so listen, we've got to first of all congratulate our ladies team, Jaffa.
Yes, what a result yesterday. Brilliant game. Two absolutely fantastic goals. Worthy winning any cup. Oh, Kirsty Howitt's so if you haven't seen it, any of the guys listening in, girls listening in, go and take in the highlights on Rangers channel on YouTube. It's brilliant, Ox, and thoroughly deserved. Great to see them picking up, and a great crowd as well, Ox. And I see the Union Bears had made the trip through as well, so to support them in such a cold day. So congratulations to Rangers women and winning the Sky
Sports Cup.
Sky Sports
Cup. CUP, Jaffa.
UP Cup.
Yeah, the Sky Sports Cup. Yeah.
What you two like?
Another milestone. A milestone for the ladies team. Bridgeman, yeah, fantastic.
Oh yes, wonder. I love any result for Rangers teams. Any of the teams, I'm very pleased when they win, and I like to hear them doing well. Not a big fan. I don't watch any of their games in that sense, but I'm pleased to listen to hear them sort of won.
They're part of the fabric of the club now.
Absolutely.
We wish them all the best, and obviously we've chatted to some of the girls on here, and we're superb representatives of our club. Bridgeman, so then we move on to Saturdays. Let's be honest, it was a training session, nearly 30,000 people turned up to watch in icy cold conditions. New manager in place, we're looking to see same personnel obviously, and Bridgeman, your thoughts?
I managed to watch the game on Sunday,
right,
and it was only highlights actually I managed to see, but no, I thought it was quite impressive. The only thing I didn't see was if our centre halves were back. Let's put it that way.
It was no recognised centre halves were playing, no. But Thursday might be different. Jaffa, we played at a different pace. We tried to get the ball back a bit quicker. We played a bit narrower with a recognised three in midfield. I don't know how you picked it up.
Yeah, I think the words that were getting used, certainly after the first half, was this fluid movement of the front three. I was quite impressed, Ox. I think, like a lot of people, try to get it in perspective. It was a training game at the end of the day. I don't think Bayer Leverkusen were at full pelt, and I don't think they were at full. I don't think they were at their full strength in any way, shape, or form. But anyway, it was still a good game, and I thought the tempo was really good, and I thought a lot of the passing was crisper, and it was looked like there was a better understanding, and that can only be a good base to work from. And it looks like the players are buying into Michael Beale's, I guess, his ideas and his the way he wants the game played and how he wants to get the ball forward. I thought it was very encouraging, Ox.
Yeah, well, no get carried away, but there was a lot of positives for me. In the first half, I thought the boy Devine, Jaffa, considering he was playing on the left-hand side, which is his natural side, was arguably our best player.
Yeah, he looked really comfortable, and that's great moving forward. Great for any player that can cover can be multi used in different positions. I agree with you. I thought he looked really athletic for such a young lad, and I only read a wee bit afterwards about him on Sunday. Actually, I started digging a wee bit more into his background, and I think it was Kevin Thompson that mentioned on commentary that if he hadn't made it as a footballer, because obviously Kevin Thompson has seen him coming through the academy, his alternative career was middle distance running, which is
coming with your good self, Chaffer.
Absolutely, yeah.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, the boy's very athletic, and listen, I thought he was my best player in the first half. I'm being honest, mate.
Yeah, he was good, Hawks. He really turned in a good performance.
Mm-hmm. And we kept the ball well. They passed it about at times okay. We tried to get it back with intensity. We made chances and we got our rewards with a good goal, a James Tavernier cross, Jaff, and then obviously Tillman sweeps it in. Good finish.
Great late run into the box, Ox. It was right out the training ground. You could see it unfolding, and if you look at it back, the way that the ball Tavernier got it out, Tillman just waited. He waited a couple of tenths of a second and made that late run, and that's a great quality to have. Great finish. It was a really clever finish, and it was a good goal, and I think well deserved at that point in the game. To be honest with you,
mm-hmm.
we'd had a good couple of wee chances beforehand. So no, it was good. Very impressed with that goal. Andy's second one, there's no doubt you're going to touch on.
I was going to take the second one first, mate.
Good one.
And then a couple of minutes later, we get a corner kick and we put it in the front post. And Tillman rises like we know he can because we've seen it. And bullets in. Great finish.
Salmon. It was good. Great finish.
Brilliant goal.
So we're 2-0 up, and we're actually playing well in a bounce game. If I'm being honest, we're winning the ball back reasonably quick. There's a bit of tempo to the game. Both teams are trying to play. When they've got it, they're trying to play. We're trying to work hard to get it back. So worthwhile exercise. But when we're going forward, I seen a difference, Jaffa. We're getting more players in the box, and we were more direct, slightly more direct, rather to kind of use a phrase for Albert. Horseshoe, yeah?
Yes, aye. It was more direct, Ox, and I liked that turnover when we lost the ball. There was an absolute where the press was there again, which is something that we seem to disappear from the actual tactics of the game. There was a good variation as well. As I said, the front three was definitely fluid. Kent had I'm not saying he had a free role, but he was certainly part of that front three where he was interchanging. And I mean, you saw him a couple of times where he was right up top and almost playing effectively on top of a 40 a diamond in the middle of the park. And then on occasions he was back in the midfield role. So I thought Kent and Tillman in particular were really quite dangerous and really picked that up. I actually think Morelos, believe it or not, I think he played that role quite well.
I'll take the first half
as well.
I'll take the first half before the second half.
Go for it.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. We're not even half time yet. He's officially told half, Bridgeman.
I know. Can I just say before we go any further, I'd just like to take my hat off to Tavernier, because just before the close down and so on and so forth, I was giving him a bit of stick about his fitness and so on and so forth, and possibly carrying injuries. He didn't look like that. No, I only saw maybe 20 minutes of the highlights, and I never saw anything wrong with him at all. I thought he was running up and doing that wing. I thought he did very well, and yeah, he sits in there in the top 3 or 4 players.
Did you not see him going off for a strain? They never showed you?
No, I actually didn't, because it never showed us that in the highlights. My apologies. But no,
I'm only jesting.
I think that what a difference in his play, and that what he did for the first goal was tremendous. A beautiful pass. And no doubt there was a few times where he should have got it over and he never got it over. Okay, but no, hats off to Mr. Tavernier. Hats off to him.
So we had a couple of half chances, nothing thought James Sands played reasonably well, Jaffa, in the first half. And then we'll move on
did.
to the second half. Yeah. Yeah, he wins the ball back well. He's good in the deck. I don't know, like Leon King, I don't know if that's a position centre back, but they've both got attributes to their game, mate. Yeah.
I think the part of the beginning of the season, Ox, when James Sands was playing at the back for us, through injury, of course, it could be argued that was where he played some of his best football and was most effective. I mean, he was playing in the left-hand side. We know he's not naturally left-sided. I think James Sands can slot in there well, and I think that's good to have that, especially now in the period that we've just come through with the amount of injuries we've had. But like we all know, it's not his natural position. He prefers to play as a defensive midfielder, but he fills in well.
Yeah, so we get the goals and we get in 2-0 at half time. I thought the guys who shone for me, this is only my views, Jaffa. I thought the boys done all right at fullback. I thought the boy Devine was my best player. Tal played okay. I thought Ryan Jack looked as if he was getting about the pitch, and Glenn Kamara looked a bit more composed. We know it's only a training session, but you can only critique what you saw on Saturday, yeah? Ryan Kent had the 3-row floated in and out. Boy Matondo, I think the game passed him by. And Cholak, we know what Cholak says. He's no the guy that's going to offer a lot in the link-up play, but he's a finisher. The ball never fell to him, so he wasn't involved too much. But did you say that was fair, Jeff?
Yes, Cholak never had a great contribution in the game, although I have to say I would say the contribution that he did make was that he was still making runs, he was still active and he was moving. And we know that's part of Cholak's game, so I wouldn't be concerned about that. I still think the big man will put the ball away when given the opportunity. And he's got a great finish in him. So, yeah, I think that was fair on who shone in the first half.
Mm-hmm. Well done. Right. So then we get to half-time, Jaffa, yeah?
Half-time?
Yes, we makes a lot of changes, yeah? And rightly so, yeah. We didn't really change the back four, but Stephen Davis come on, Scotty Arfield come on, John Lundstrom come on, yeah. Fashion Sakala coming back for injury. So there's one player coming back. So then we started, and the game sort of carried on. The game carried on in the same vein, really. We were controlling most of it. We were closing down and trying to win the ball back quick, yeah.
Yeah, I think the second half that the obviously there was huge changes, as you said, at half time, Ox, and it was very much a similar performance. It was the same system. They were still playing the rotation up front. Middle of the park was still very active. They never changed the back four from memory. Is that correct? Did that stay the same in the second half, Ox?
It stayed the same, mate. Stayed the same.
I think it did. Yep. So I think the second half.
To near the end when we brought the young boys on, yeah.
Yes, we changed that again near the end. But as you said, I think it was still much the same. The passing was crisp, the movement was good, the appetite was good, the tempo was still good. So I think the message is getting over to the squad, which is really encouraging.
What was the difference you seen?
Attitude.
Attitude. Yeah, all right, okay. What do you think that is? Do you think there's it's a simplified message or an arm round people? Just as simple as that? Is it that the difference?
Combination, Ox. I mean, to get the attitude right, obviously, without knowing all the issues that were going on, and we cannot speculate on them. I've got my own opinion. We've spoken about it on here many times, but I just think the players had lost trust in what Gio was trying to do and what he was trying to achieve, and that's just what happens in football clubs. The manager goes, a change of personnel. Beale comes in, he's known to a lot of the players, which is good in some respect. It's all about, it's great having this and talking about this in a training game, Ox. Mm-hmm. Putting it into practice in league performances, and then putting 4 or 5 games together and creating the confidence is what Michael Beale needs to do. And he'll only start getting the real benefits when he starts doing that. But there's the embers there of having a better attitude, and I think it's a combination of things. I think probably talking to players one-to-one, putting his arm around them. I think playing a system that the players are comfortable playing. That's what I suspect is why you saw there was a different attitude.
Okay, so the second half started, and it was pretty much a mirror image. Would that be fair? Yeah, I thought Stephen Davis strolled it even with his passing and that, and Lundstrom was playing a different.
Lundstrom,
yeah.
Yeah. I thought Lundstrom was quite effective, Hawks, as well as you say. Stephen Davis again looked. I think the players looked quite a bit fitter as well. Even I know it was only, as I said, we keep having to correct ourselves and say it was only a training game. We know that it was a light friendly. To put it in other words, they weren't going into it full pelt challenges. Like, you could see they were holding back a wee bit, but the movement was there, and the attitude was there, and the appetite was there. So from that perspective, Fox, and as you say, Davis was good in the second half. Lundstrom, I thought, was decent in the second half. Morelos, I thought, Arfield, exactly, Bridge. Arfield and Morelos, I thought, was quite effective.
Yes and no. What about his miss before his goal?
Apart from that miss.
Yeah, okay. He had a horror miss, but I mean, he still couldn't. It was him that got the penalty, wasn't it? And he obviously, he played the ball through as well for Arfield for the goal too.
Mm-hmm. He was involved. Young boy Lowry, come on, he's coming back for a bad injury as well, so he starts getting minutes and it made an impact, Jaffa.
He did. I forgot about Alec Lowry. He did. He had some really good involvement. Ox. He looks a player. I don't know what it is about. Like, I would love to see him bulk out a wee bit and really get a good 12 or 15 games under his belt. I've got high hopes for Alec Lowry. He really does. He looks a real deal for me. On your wallet, he would.
Oh dear. He's got something about him, Bridgman, isn't he? He's got the boy Lowry. He's one of these guys. He's got the X factor, but what it is if you can get that out of him regular in a first team jersey, because he sees passes that other players don't see, Bridger.
Yeah, he's obviously a smashing player, and a young man as well. He had a wee bit of, shall we say, quite a bad injury, and he came back successfully. I thought he looked very good at times during the game. Still, I think match fitness isn't there. The high ball coordination isn't 100% yet, but he's no doubt about that boy. That boy should be able to play virtually every game. Obviously, providing his muscles hold him up until he gets himself really 100% fit. I think he's a smashing player, really good player. Looks good.
Position, Jaffa? For you,
Alec Lowry.
Aye, that's the.
He's a number 10.
Right.
Number 10 for me, Ox.
Right. I think he's somebody who wants to go deep and get involved, mate, as well. He wants to take the ball everywhere. You know who
he reminds me of, Ox? See, the more I see him, he reminds me of Ian Durrant.
Right, okay. Well, I don't see the late runs into the box that Durrant was great at. But the way he runs with the ball, I get that. I get that.
And his intelligence, it's his game. It's the pass he sees. He sees the space. You can, and he's got that trickery as well. And his armory. I mean, he just looks a good player. He really does. And I think, really getting him a really good run in the team. I think you would see he could only go from strength to strength, Alec Lowry.
Mm-hmm. He's got something about him, the boy, and I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but he's definitely got ability. Right, so I think the big talking point in the second half was where you stood in the Alfredo Morelos camp, yeah? Jaffa?
Yeah, I thought he was, again, Ox, I thought he contributed. I thought his attitude, he certainly, I thought he looked a wee bit slimmer, but I don't know if it was just that black strip.
Well, certainly he was involved with the penalty kick and he was involved with the goal, so he contributed. He never scored himself, which you like to see your forwards do, but we still managed to score 3. And if I'm being honest, that was part of the problem. We weren't scoring goals. We need to start scoring more goals to take the pressure off us. Bridge?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're definitely needing that. I thought that I didn't see a great deal of Morelos in the game, other than a couple of stupid moments. Like the guy's got qualities. My only thoughts for him are he's running out of time, and he's running out of time rapidly. He's got to be able to turn it on and show, otherwise it'll be bye-bye. If he wants to play for the Rangers, then he needs to do better, consistently better, and we need to get him in the team to give him that chance. How we do that is up to the manager and the coaches. No, when he came on, I thought, like yourselves, I wasn't 100% sure. It looked slimmer, but was it the strip that was making it look slimmer? No, I don't think so. I think he did look slimmer. I think he's been maybe a crash diet or something like that.
Well, it was away on holiday, and then they've been back in training, so maybe the new enthusiasm which was into the training with a new manager, where different management team come in, and maybe you're hoping for a lift bridge, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Another one I was vitally impressed with was I thought Ryan Kent had done enough for hopefully the manager to be able to persuade him to stay, because I think that's probably his best game for quite a wee while, Excuse me.
But I think he done okay. I think if you think back to maybe the Hearts game, or maybe it was the Aberdeen game. Sorry, maybe the Aberdeen game at Ibrox. He had a decent game that day, but his numbers are poor, Bridge. He's not scored enough goals.
That's correct.
And he's not created enough goals. And even in Saturday, when he done some decent things, he's still not involved in the creating of goals or scoring goals. And for that, for someone who's such a forward player, his numbers need to improve, mate. You need to question, because as a forward player, you're judged in your goals and your assists, yeah? You're not judged in how many headers you head off the line when you're back defending a corner kick, yeah?
You're absolutely right. For a person like Ryan Kent, is up till the weekend, or up to the other day, I should say, it was a weekend, what am I talking about? I think his performance has been quite questionable and very disappointing for people like me. I think he's a smashing player.
Oh, I'm not joking. I'm not doubting.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not convinced, but I believe that the manager wants him to stay, and he's maybe spoke to him, and that might have been the difference we saw just the other day. There might be, I don't know.
Well, we'll see. Only time will tell. We want good players playing well for the club, but we want the numbers have to improve. And Ryan Kent numbers in the last calendar year for a forward player, mate, they're not good enough, Bridge.
You're 100% right. They're pretty poor. In anybody's language, it's pretty poor, and it needs to be better. Obviously, it needs to be better, and it should be given no way out. To be told it's got to improve, otherwise bye-bye.
Aye, he's got to put balls in the boxes, and he's got to get in and get himself some goals. Simple as that. For himself, for his own career, if that's what he wants to do. Anyway, we'll get these phone lines open.
Go for it.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, so how would you rate it as an exercise to build up to fitness, Jaffa?
I think it was a decent exercise, Ox. I think it was probably necessary. I know Michael Beale was quite glad to see the back of it. For me, I think it was a 7 out of 10.
I noticed both teams had Castoro. Do you think that didn't do with exercise?
Do you know, Ox? I always spotted that right near the end. Probably.
All right, okay. You never know, do you? Call me a cynic, Jaffa. Call me a cynic. But I thought it was a worthwhile exercise, and fair play to everybody who attended. Put my money into the club, and good to see a lot of kids there. Particularly in a cold day. It's always. But obviously they got a wee bit of entertainment by getting 3 goals.
Yeah, I think the fans that turned up deserve a lot of credit, Ox, especially in such a, as you say. I mean, it was bitter, absolutely bitter. And I think you said at the start there, nearly 30,000 fans there. I think that's tremendous, absolutely tremendous for a friendly match. Brilliant.
I agree with you there, Jaffa. I agree with you. The fans are second to none, that's for sure, and supporting the team.
26,000, I think, was the official attendance according to Mr. Fox. So, Headney was 30,000, Headney was 30,000, aye. And a bitter cold day, fair enough, to watch a training session. But aye, 7 out of 10, I would be quite happy with that. I don't think there was the big positive for me the whole game was the boy Devine. Yeah, and I don't know how good the boy's going to be, but considering he's a right back, you could tell that his left foot was a weaker foot bridge, and that can be difficult if you're playing in one at the sort of outside positions, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Times when I was playing, sometimes you had to cover for the left back, who'd maybe been injured or whatever. So you got to cover that. And I know it's difficult. You've heard me saying it about all the guys that we've got who just run the left-footed. It's the most difficult position to play as in the left back position when you're no left-footed. Very, very difficult. There are players who have done it, but they've obviously had a bit strong left foot anyway. But I know that it's a very difficult place to play. It's difficult. You know.
Good players can play anywhere, but I'll know issues.
Some of them.
I'll know issues to that. Right, okay. Aye, that was my big plus. I mean, everybody else was okay, and I don't think there was anybody played badly, Jaffa. But the big fair play to the lad. I thought he showed an appetite to say, I'm here. Yeah.
I think that was his interview afterwards, Ox. I think that's exactly what he said. You know, it's difficult for him because he's right back and he's in a position where that's where the captain's playing. And that he recognises it's going to be really difficult for him to break into that. And Tarvin by himself is not injured very much, so he was just delighted to take any opportunity at all. I thought, like you, Ox, I thought he was the boy that shone in the game. He looks like to me he's got great potential. He's really athletic, and know what else he's got about him? He's full of confidence, and that's a great thing to have, especially when you're a young lad. The more we see him in the team, the better.
Some engine. Anyway, we've been joined by Blue Star. Evening, Blue Star.
Evening, Ox, there, Bridgeman and Jaffa. Good to have you back, guys.
Hi, Blue.
Hi, Blue Star.
Hi, guys. Ox, just for me, it was being perfectly honest, I know we all see things differently. For me, it was a game of two halves. I thought the first half, the energy, the pressing, even when they never had the ball, I thought the likes of Jack, Tillman, Kamara totally dominated midfield. For me, Ox, the most pressing thing, the most surprising and great thing I've seen the whole day was, for me, one player shone above every single other player in the park, and that was Tillman. Not for his 2 goals, for his pressing, even his tackles. He had 3 tackles in that first half that were superb. He actually got the ball off the Germans, and then one of the ones he was lying in the deck, he got back up and then ran again. He's running off the ball was... I didn't think that guy had that in him. I only ever seen him doing one run for Rangers, and it was a run when he scored the goal and he took the ball himself against Morelos. But in that game, oh my, he was a completely different, gifted player. He was absolutely tremendous. Followed with I say, I would agree with you on Divine Tafe. Considering the boy's a right back, I thought he'd done very well at left back. But Tillman, oh no, by far, head and shoulders above everybody.
Do you think that's an attitude thing, mate, or a message thing? You know, because obviously we know he's got ability, we know he's got decent feet for a big fella, and we know he can jump. We've seen that already. We know he can score goals, but we questioned his work rate. So do you think the message has got lost to the boy?
Must be. It must be, because you mentioned the word there, work rate. His work rate in that first half, absolutely hands down. That's the most effort that boy's put in since he pulled on a blue shirt, and it was black and Saturday. But I mean, he was, he looked every bit the £5 million player. Okay, it was only 45 minutes, but Oh, for me, it was absolutely tremendous. I agree with you on Matondo, guys. At 3 million, for me, he's shown nothing. Certainly, he's good speed, but his decision making, even when if once he gets the ball, he just runs into nothing. The big guy up front, absolutely. Gosh, if Stingby hadn't mentioned his name 2 minutes before the end of the first half, you wouldn't even have known he was on the park. Kolach. So, for me, the second half, folks, I only call it as I see it. For me, as soon as the midfield was changed, Davis, Arfield, oh no, they've got to go at the club in January. Every time they get the ball, all they wanted to do was, we went back to the triangles as under Gio, and the ball went backwards all the time. Backward passing, time and time and time again. And that was that team. Certainly they tried to press a wee bit for 20 minutes. But towards the end of the game, you could see a lot of their players were dead in their feet. We should have scored a lot more.
They were born. They did make a better fisty at the start of the second half, yeah?
Yeah, aye, absolutely. But no, for me, the first half, folks, Kamara, Jack and Tillman, oh, they were really, I was overjoyed because, as I say, the pressing, they were getting forward. They were all trying to get forward. The movement and the energy in the team in the first half was I've not seen that all season, and I'm being truthful. I have not seen that since the start of the season. It was a joy to watch in the first half.
Jaffa?
Yeah, Blue Star, great observation. Well, you put it really well. They did. The movement was, and it was a joy to watch. And you're right, that hasn't been there. And long may that continue. And I think I heard Gio saying afterwards that he was delighted to be working with Malik Tillman because he rated him. He thought the guy had absolutely boundless amounts of ability.
I think it might have been Michael Beale, no Gio.
Sorry, Michael Beale. Sorry, Michael Beale. The Freudian slip. Michael Beale was delighted to be working with Malik Tillman. So that augurs well. And he's got a lot of decisions to make, Gio, because there was a lot of players stating their case for a place in the team. And that's up to him to mould it together and pick the right team.
Here's a question. I'll go to you first, Postar, and I'll take it to the other two chaps. Do you think you pick your team for training sessions?
I personally wise, I never ever thought. Well, certainly in the past, were managers I don't think can have done that. Although they did, they always tell you the same sound bites that it depends what you do in training. Under the likes of Gerrard and under Gio, there's no way. I don't think so, Ox, because I'll tell you, I thought Lindstrom did okay when he came on the second half. Something tells me our manager will not start him on Thursday simply because I think what he started with in midfield, that's obviously who he thought was his best midfield without a shadow of a doubt. So is it what they're doing in training that they're actually picking him on? Maybe, but I'm not 100% sure. Certainly for me, as I say, I couldn't praise Tillman enough. I thought his movement, especially after the ball, the runs that the guy was making, I couldn't believe it. I've never seen that in the guy. I've seen him on that park in so many games. He would maybe do wee bursts now and again, and then you actually seen him stunning. Whereas in that first half, the guy was everywhere. He was even back defending a couple of times. I couldn't believe it. So, answering your point, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know.
Bridge?
I think Tillman was very good. I think to answer your question, it's a bit of probably 50-50. A lot of the time it's a case of they know that guy's got a knock. Let's see how he reacts in training and we'll see how it goes. But there is I would imagine he's got a team in his mind. And if it deviates for that, it's because of injury, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So if they're fit enough, they should be good enough to go on the pitch. But I think his team's already decided in his mind. All the players that he's got. And yes, heavy training he was giving them when the first week he was back. He's probably seen some glimpses what he wouldn't see under Gio, for instance, and I don't know why. Yeah, I think that's probably true. He picked some of it from training, but generally, as 11 players on that pitch, let's put it this way: if Goldson and Davies had been fit, they would have been in the centre half role. That's for sure.
I don't know if they would have been, mate. I think they might have been trying to protect them. Jaffa, when you scored a good goal in training, did you think, oh, that's me getting a game?
No, not always, Ox. No, not always. I think it's more than that. I've always thought it was more than that. No, I think probably their attitude around about the training ground, basically how they're reacting, what their attitude is like to training, whether they're turning up in time. I think there's many factors that lead into whether you're actually in the running, and then you'll get the guys that will just, the professionals. It's the same way every group of players, whether it's Connor Goldson, Tavernier, Stephen Davis, the guys that set the tone. And he'll know them, and he might know that they can't train because they're getting to the end, they're a bit older. But I certainly think probably from front to middle, I think that's the area of the team that he probably thinks most about. I think the defence a lot of the time, if all fit, usually picks itself. And I think that's the same for most teams. But that's my take on it. I mean, I think training matches, I think is great for certain players trying to maybe even try to break into the team or stake a place in the team, like Lowry and Devine and stuff like that. And the more you do in training, it absolutely helps. There's no two ways about it.
Aye. I'll wait until he clears one off the line, then it'll be divine intervention,
Oh, aye.
But anyway, I thought it was a worthwhile exercise. I take Bo Star's point about Tillman. I thought he did, but I think for me, the boy, because he was playing an unnatural position and he's one of our own, Adam Devine, I thought he shone in the first half. But I'm splitting hairs with Bo Star because I do think you're going to grab the headlines when you score two good goals, Bo.
Aye, as I say, I can know that, mate, and I get that's why you get the man of the match.
I deserve it. If you scored two goals, didn't you?
Oh, aye, absolutely. But I mean, it was because his movement. It's certainly the energy in the movement. But on that and all, I definitely need to mention Lowry. For me, see when the guy's on the ball, he's got absolute class written all over him. Even the way that he passes a ball. He's very, very elegant, and yet he can get with dig as well. But he sees things. His outlook. He sees things out the corner of his eyes and everything. He's definitely one that can put that final ball through for somebody to run through and score. No doubts about it. The guy's got the ability, whether it's attitude or no. But I'm looking for big things now. The rest of this season for Lowry, without a shadow of a doubt.
I'm not putting him up there on this pedestal, Jaffa, but I get where Boy's coming from because in a World Cup, I think arguably one of the best passes was Messi's blind pass when he's gone one way, doesn't he look and slides it through to the boy, yeah?
Yeah.
Lowry's got something that's different. I'm not saying he's a Messi, I'm not saying that at all, but he can do unusual things, yeah, because he sees the game differently.
I think we all see, if you've played football at all, or you've got a love of football, and we all have here talking about it, and all the guys that are listening, guys and lassies that are listening in, you can see a player when you see an absolute proper footballer. And Alec Lowry has got all the makings of that. I agree with Blue Star. Attitude, he's only young, he's just had a really bad injury as well. He's coming back for that. All those things obviously affect how the young guy's going to set his mind up. But getting coached well is clearly something that I think Michael Beale can do with him, because Michael Beale knows him and has known him for a long time now. He's known him for the past 3 or 4 years coming through the academy. So let's hope Michael Beale can get the best out of Alec Lowry. I think there's a player in there, I really do. Again, you don't want to put too much on the young lad. He's only what, 19 or something like that, 18, 19. But he's shown great potential.
I don't think he lacks confidence, Bridge.
Absolutely right. He's a super confident boy. Super confident. I think he's got that. He's got a wee stride in it. It's not a run. He's got a stride. When he gets the ball, he can stride up the park. and I think that's wonderful to watch. There's not very many players stride with it, you know. I think he does that, and he's obviously got vision. He can read the game. He sees gaps. He sees a move. Looks for a jersey in a space, that kind of thing. All of these, the most good midfielders have got that type of ability. Some better than others, of course. But if you're going to be at the tops, that's the place to be, and you've got to be able to do it. So the things that he can do, it will be a welcome to Rangers for sure, because he's a cracking player. Cracking.
Aye. Well, let's talk about one of our other young boys who featured at the weekend there, Leon King. New contract today, Jaffa?
I know, brilliant, great news. Really delighted to hear that. Again, another different part of the park. You know, defending's a different art form. I think Leon again's got great ability. Oxford's obviously, you know, we know, we've heard all the whispers, you know, of his agent and various other things about who's been interested in him. It's good that he signed up. I think that's the right decision for Leon.
I'll say that. I don't think it's official, but it's rumoured. It's rumoured, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it had been announced by the club or not. No,
let's just keep our foot in the ground. It's rumoured, yeah. And I think it makes sense to try, if we are going to do it, to protect one of our assets, mate, yeah?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. We've got to do that. That's the right thing to do. The club are doing the right thing there. If contracts are being handed out to players, Leon King should be definitely at the front of the queue. Because I don't think he had a long-term contract. I think he was maybe up in 224. I think it was maybe up, Ox. I'm not sure.
Rumoured to be he's going to be extended to 226, mate, which protects your asset, lets him develop, lets him move on with his life, settle down and try and kick on, Bostara.
Great news.
Absolutely. I've kind of changed my tune on him, Ox. I never held back. I always said I didn't think the boy would make it at Rangers. I genuinely didn't think he was good enough. The more I see the guy, and certainly you can see that they've been bulking him up. He's a big bit of a unit now. But there's no doubt about it. He's fearless in the tackle. His distribution is pretty good. And what I did see on Saturday, I think there was two main ones. When the ball get put into the box, it was him, it was on the end of him. He done that ball out. So they've definitely been working with him, and they've been working well with the guy. I see a bit of a player in him now. I didn't at the beginning, I've got to be honest. But I think it's like everything else, Ox. The more games, the more self-assured the boys obviously became. And on that, Ox, that's why I think they've got to make time now for the likes of Lowry. Can you imagine the likes of Lowry, say, and Tillman on the one side? Because in a lot of their attributes, they're very similar. They're tall guys, but they've both got that gift. Certainly, I think Tillman's maybe a gift at running into a box, whereas Lowry's maybe a passer. But there's no doubt about it. He sees things that other guys don't, and I just think they've got to find minutes for the boy now. And when he's up and he's ready, you've got to get them on that park. That's what gives them the confidence, because we've seen it. We've seen it in King, the young boy Divine. As I say, you looked at him. He's right fitted, as you said. He was on the left-hand side. The boy was running up the park and he was playing 1-2s. What more can you ask for a young guy that's hardly played for us? And he's up against big, tough Germans. None of their players are wee. They're all big, massive giants. No. So when you're game enough to play that way, you've definitely got it. You know what I mean?
That was the trouble in the First World War. The trenches weren't deep enough, you know.
Aye.
But I am Leon King, Bridgeman. I don't know. He's a football player. I don't know if he's a centre half, and I'll tell you why. I don't know if he's tall enough. I know he's young and he can grow, you know. But at the moment, when you see the other teams, but he's got to pick up. He's brave and he goes for it. But what's your thoughts? Being somebody that played in that position a few years ago, Bridge. Well, he's talking to himself. Jaffa, what's your thoughts now that I've said that? Yeah.
I know I've heard you say that before, Ox. Whether you're not convinced 100% if he's a centre back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure he's got any. I don't think he's good enough, put it this way, to move into a midfield role or even a defensive midfield role. I know he's got a cultured foot. I know he can spread the ball about. He's got the long range and pass, and he does use it from time to time. He's not scared to use that. I'm not. I think his best attributes are clearance. That seems to be what he's very good at, and braving the tackle. His positional strength, I think he's still got to develop, and I think that will come in time. I'm not sure where else he would play him, Ox. I mean, I don't think he's a fullback either. So, and he's not gone in goals, is he?
I don't know. But listen, you might be right. It might be that his positional sense has got to improve, and then you'll see him with a different play because he's got pace. He's fearless. You know, he's got attributes. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to play 500 games for us, but I think the boy's got a chance. Bridge.
Yeah, I think he's a full back in the making. I really believe that sincerely. And he's probably coming in at the right time, and looking forward to Mr. Tavernier having less games. I think he would be a really good right back. I really do. And I wish him well anyway, no matter what happens. But I think that'd be a really good position for him. He could keep it, make it his own. That's just my thoughts. I think
you don't see him as a centre half then, Bridge.
Personally, I don't think he's big enough. No, for me. I don't think he's big enough. He's fearless, as you say, and how tough he is. And he looks kind of tough. Seems to be kind of tough. But I've saw a couple of times he's made, shall we say, rash attempts at tackles. Was lucky not to get a red card a couple of times. I've seen him. But no, I think he's a smashing player for us. But I think, as I said, he's like a full back in the making. You get somebody in who's 5 inches taller than him or 4 inches taller than him, you'll see a completely different person playing for centre half. Goldson comes back, you'll see a completely different boy play. But if he gets beside Goldson, why he can learn everything from him.
I think the trouble is then we're playing everybody, and we're back to that problem we've had, Jaffa, that if Connor comes back, who we know we've missed, then everybody else gets moved to the left side to their unnatural position. Yeah, but ideally, Connor comes back and Ben Davies comes back, and then we'll get a right and a left footed. We'll go to that combination, Jaffa. Star?
Definitely, Ox. We've had a problem now for the best part of 6 years for me. We have two centre halves playing in their proper positions. We need Ben Davies because obviously that's who's earmarked for that position. We need him and Goldson in the centre of that defence and getting the games under their belts. We need assurances at the back, and they two, if they're anything like what we think they're going to be together, they've got to get the games. We need that centre, that defence. We need that pairing in there. No doubt about it.
Back with us, Jaffa?
Yes, back with you. Sorry, done a bridge there. That's I agree, Ox. I think when Connor comes back, and I believe he's back training, I think he'll slot back in there. And I think when you know when you've missed something, when you've not got it, is the left-hand side is that balance, and you recognise it when it's not there. That's way. And I think when Ben Davies is not there, the team's much better for having him in that side of the park. Where does Leon King slot into then? Is he just going to be filling in? Is he going to be only picking up in games when players are injured? Who knows? Or is Michael Beale going to stick with him and play him and Connor as a two? We'll need to wait and see, Ox. But certainly, it would be good to see that area of the park clearing up with injuries. That's for sure. And it's great to hear that Connor Goldson's nearly back to playing time.
Aye, let's be honest. People have different views in Connor, but whether you like him or you don't like him, we've missed him, Blue Star.
He's never been the commanding figure that everybody else kind of seen in him for me. But there are no two ways about it. He's the best we've got at the back. He's the best we've got. Whether he's the be all and end all, that's a totally different matter. But at the moment in our squad, he's the best centre half we've got by a stretch. So, we need them there, no doubt about it.
Rich?
Yeah, 100%. As far as I'm concerned, Conor Golson may not be the ultimate centre half, but I'm looking for somebody that's 2 or 3 inches taller than Conor Golson and bigger built. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And he can take care of all the rough and stiff stuff. Golson, if he's left to his own devices, he's not a bad player. He likes being up the top a wee bit. And I know he causes a bit of heart attacks and things like something, but that's because he'll not be able to get back. But yeah, I'm looking for really a big, huge monster guy that likes to be a centre half and only a centre half, and he'll kill people.
Kill people. Somebody like Ryan Porty. Somebody like Ryan Porty.
No. I want somebody who can play football.
All right, okay. I'm just asking, Jaffa.
No, the one.
No, not for me, Ox. Yeah, not to be disrespectful to the guy, but no, not to our club. I think what we've got there now is better than Ryan Porteous. I don't think we need any more.
All right, well, just the rumour mill, mate. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah.
Surely that rumour's still not going around. Surely.
Oh, the rumours about you are still going around, and they were a long time ago.
That's right. But most of those rumours are true.
You know, but what about the news today that the Indian Council of Scotland and the UK have awarded Rangers Football Club special award for outstanding achievement for community relations? That'll be on the press tomorrow, Jaffa.
I know. Great, brilliant, absolutely tremendous. I saw it earlier on the Rangers website. Brilliant. All credit to the club. Their campaign for everyone and anyone, I think, has went long and far. And I think from a commercial aspect, Ox, as well, forging new links with the Indian community, I think, is a great thing. And there'll no doubt be some talent over there, some football talent that we can tap into. I think we're already involved with a couple of partnerships with a few clubs over there. So I think that's great. I think it's a tremendous accolade for the club to receive, and onwards and upwards for the club with stuff like that. It's brilliant.
I will maybe bring back one of my favourites, Bridge.
Who's that?
Old Delhi's Walls.
I like that one. No, it's tremendous. It's great that anybody recognises Rangers. I will accept that with pride. So, as far as I'm concerned, we're a tremendous club with worldwide connections.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Is the blue nosed Pecora coming back, Ox?
Well, maybe there's a step for a hint, Jaffa. I know you like a bit of Pecora, brah.
One or two.
Aye, all positive. These are they don't mean anything on the part, but they're all positives after Pat post, are they?
Any positives are a good thing. I just, for me, I just like to see a turner in with a board when they can intercept and have more communication with support. But I'm sure it'll come. It's just took hanging a long time.
I don't know if you're ever going to get what you want, mate, with that. I really don't. How they deal with things as directors of businesses, mate, is different from what we expect. Jaffa, innit? You know, it's the emotion of a football fan is overriding. Yeah, they've got to make cold, calculated business decisions. The two of them don't add up.
And sometimes they can't even make the decision, Ox, because for a whole variety of reasons. When we've spoke about it recently of the AGM, and you know, I've heard some things getting said that the questions were rigged. I mean, the actual the implications of that are crazy, because it's a PLC business. You're putting the integrity of the whole business and the guys that are running it at stake. And for the sake of asking a couple of questions, are they going to rig an AGM with questions? I mean, I can't believe that some of the stuff gets put into the press, and you know, all of a sudden, because it's in the press, it's the truth.
The press just love us, Jaffa. Everything positive about Rangers is all over it.
Love it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm not telling people. People can make their own mind up. They're all adults, but we're in a different kind of war now, and it's a PR war. Yeah, and we've not got placement in the press.
No.
Simple as that.
Here.
You know, you've got to make your own mind up, and you've got to cut through the BS, Jaffa.
Absolutely, yeah. Your pen and the sword and all that, and I think we all know what's going on, and I think the club are well aware of what's going on. And you're right, there's certain things that we can't do and we can't get access to. This could be a whole show. In fact, it could be a whole week of shows on that, Ox, talking about what's going on in the background at the SFA and the SPFL and who's involved. You know, the nepotism that's going on, that's incestuous. It is just a cesspit of you know, and all the roots, all the links all go back to one tentacle. They all end up being white and gold.
Aye, yeah. We know, but we've got to look after ourselves. Nobody else is going to do it for us, poster.
Without a shadow of a doubt, it's we they don't like us and we don't care. That's just how it is.
Couldn't have put it better myself. Right, you lads, are you all ready for a tune? The first tune?
Go for it.
Bridge, are you all right? Yeah?
I'm carrying my cup through now.
All right. What are you going to have? What are you going to have? Where a wee chocolate eclair?
No. Just a wee cup of tea. That'll do me fine.
All right. Not even a custard cream?
Well, no, because we've not been out to the shops. I could have went to the shops right enough. I should have got that.
Oh, I'll get Waitrose to send you some room, mate. You just.
That'd be brilliant. I like the Waitrose stuff.
I'm on a Rocky.
Oh, a Rocky?
Oh, no.
Well, you can't be a Rocky, Jaffa. Right, okay. Let's have a tune.
I don't know if you can see just what the Rangers really mean to me. These last few years I've been afraid that we might drift away. So I've been telling old stories and singing songs, made me think about where we come from. That's the reason why I feel so very proud today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Irish Stadium's calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had. We won 9 in a row, and I'm still dreaming of Brian Laudrup and Trevor Stephen. Marvin Andrews said, keep believing. Davy Cooper on the wing. We remember Gaza with great affection, the day the helicopter changed direction. Jimmy Baxter, he was pure perfection. Super Ali scores again. Well, let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium's calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had. think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, Jaffa. I don't know if you've been following the World Cup. That referee, Argentina and Holland or Netherlands. I remember him for a game at Ibrox had a bit of controversy in it. Remember?
What game was he? What game was? I recognise his face. Ox. Dortmund.
Was it Dortmund? It was him and maneuver the screen with Morelos and chopped the goal off.
Absolutely, I remember him now. Yeah, he's a balloon. Aye, a balloon.
Anyway, we digress. Okay, so listen. The way I'm looking at this, we got a new man in. He's hopefully going to give us a bit of energy, a bit of a spark. Is that the way you're seeing it, Jaffa?
Exactly that, Ox. Yeah, exactly that. I think he's re-energised the squad, and I think that's what needed to be done.
My information tells me that there's a merry buzz about the place. The whole place has had a lift, and this is no criticism to Giovanni and his staff. Just different cultures, if you like. I'm trying to be kind there, Jaffa. Yeah.
Ox, I think, do you know something? I know a lot of us is, you mentioned it earlier on, making decisions emotionally and reading things with emotion and trying to be subjective and look at things, through a clear set of eyes. I bet it's like everything in life, Ox. I don't think there's been any, players down in tools or people falling out with each other, no one to play for the manager. I would almost put my money on it's down to communication and getting your message across, because we all saw what was going on at the side of the park. The goalkeeper coach was coming on to try and get a message on. That doesn't work. That cannot work. The manager is the only guy that can deliver that message and deliver it forcibly if he wants the players to do a particular thing on the park.
I have to agree with that.
Aye. Too many Chiefs, not enough Indian Bridge.
No, to a certain extent. I think what you're talking about, that referee cost us the Dortmund game, 100%. 2 or 3 crazy decisions by him. And that one, just shocking. Just some of the things. And by the way, the leopard never changed its spots. It was the exact same in the World Cup. Some horrible decisions.
Yeah, strange. But I get you, Gaff, and I think you maybe got a point there. My understanding is there wasn't a breakdown, it was just a drifting apart, if that makes sense. And maybe you maybe got something there, it's just a small thing, but that's caused a drifting rather than a bust up, yeah?
Yeah, and I think I said Ox on the show, and I think Southside said it one night as well. Obviously he's there home and away. We know Southside, we know what he does, and and there's many of them, Ox, and the guys that travel up and down the country and all over the world to see the famous. I think Gio didn't want to be there at the end, Ox, and I know we're getting back over old ground. I just think he didn't want to be there. You could see it in his face, you could see it in the interviews, and let's not be kidded. Players, the manager's he's the guy that delivers the message. He's the chief, he's the top cookie. When he stands in the dressing room, whether it be Walter Smith, Jock Wallace, Steven Gerrard, or Graham Souness, or whoever's there's got to be a guy that delivers the message. They're the epicentre of the dressing room. And if you don't have that guy driving it, and at this current moment in time, it's Michael Beale, and let's hope Michael Beale can do that. He's seen enough. He's seen Gerrard in operation. He's seen plenty of other managers. He's been around a lot of top clubs. Michael Beale speaks very well. Let's hope he can get his message onto the park. The early signs are good, but let's hope he can turn it into the results, Ox.
Aye, talk is cheap, mate. Talk is cheap. It's you can have the best training sessions, the best team selection. Doesn't matter. It's all about results.
Yeah, and it's all about the players playing for one another, and
exactly.
The dig and the appetite and the attitude and all those things that we talk about. And Blue Star said at the start of his call there, it just looked different.
All right, we've been joined by Angus. Evening, Angus.
Good evening, Ox, and good evening to Bridge, and good evening to Jaffa, and good evening to Blue Star if he's still there. How are you all tonight, guys?
All right, mate. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just thought I was going to phone in, and I would like to wish Michael Beale, Neil Banfield, Damien Matthew, Harry Watling, and Jack Addy all the very best for their first competitive match against Hibernian on Thursday night. And I must say, as a sort of season ticket holder, I'm very much looking forward. We have had some hard times recently, and I for one, I think we should just put it to the side, and we've got hopefully some exciting times ahead. We've all been through some very hard times this season, and I'd also like to genuinely thank Giovanni Van Bronckhorst for some unbelievably high moments as a Rangers support, and I wish him and his family the very best for the future. And I'd also like to say that Marvin Andrews says a great quote, tough times don't last, but tough people do. So I hope that we can all move forward as a club, and as Blue Stars is always saying, onwards and upwards for Rangers.
Listen, Angus, you'll no do on here. What a nice person. Jaffa.
Good to hear from you, Angus.
Yes, what a gent. Well said. Carry on, Jeff.
That's great. I think we all wish Michael Beale the best. We really do it. We're all rooting. We're all Rangers fans at the end of the day. We're part of the best family in the world. We all want our team just to perform on the park and put as much energy in to the team on the park as we all do in the stands. So like you, Angus, I concur with that. I wish them all the best, and I also concur with you as well. I absolutely wish Giovanni Van Bronckhorst the best health and the best wealth for him and his family moving forward. It was good while it lasted. He brought us some great times, some of the best highs in my life. But I have to say, the football latterly, Angus, was. I'm afraid that the writing was on the wall, and it was getting worse by the week. So, listen, we all move on. That's life, that's football as well, as I say.
And you come, Angus, and you come.
Yeah, Jaffa, I totally agree. And what you're saying about Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, you're right. Possibly one of the greatest nights in my life supporting Rangers was down to Giovanni and the team, against Leipzig at home. I will never ever forget that. But things just didn't work out this season, and there are frustrations, and we all feel bad about how things have gone this year. But you know what, Michael Beale's coming in, so I'm willing to put all the things to the side, and let's. I was very encouraged by what I saw in the game on Saturday. I just thought we started off with a much higher tempo. I thought the players looked a bit fitter than they have been recently, and I'm greatly encouraged for what to see on Thursday and the next sort of coming games coming up as well.
Yeah, that's a point that a lot of people have made, Blue Star. Fitness, and obviously it takes you a couple of weeks if you have intense. It's like a mini pre-season, so if we're in a better place, look, it's gone now, so we'll say it didn't work out whatever Giovanni tried, and hopefully we can rectify it.
Absolutely concur with everything Angus said. There's got to be a respect here. I think there is. He is going to have. He's got tough times ahead, and so far as player management goes, he's going to have to be ruthless. A manager has to be that way to be successful. But the energy, the guile, the astuteness, and everything there was there in that first half. And energy and guile can get you a long, long way in football, especially when you're set up the right way. And you could clearly see that the players looked far, 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 far fitter, especially in the first half. And if we get through games like that and we have a few more additions, which is going to have to happen, the season starts now, guys. Angus is completely right. It's got to be wins. The players playing for the team, for the badge, for that shirt, and most importantly for the supporters. And if our manager gets that out of players, he'll not have any complaints from me.
Yeah, you're right. We're coming to some run of fixtures, Angus. When we get to Thursday, we'll get three games, domestic games in 8 days, yeah?
Oh, yeah, it is. It's, we've just finished from a very busy schedule before the World Cup, and you're right, Christmas and January is traditionally always a very busy time, and I just want the team to get onto the park and start winning again and build a wee bit of momentum. I'm not going to sort of go too far ahead, but go Thursday and put on a show, because it has been a tough watch for all us Rangers fans for the last few months, and it was getting to the stage you weren't even looking forward to going to games, but I must say now I'm very much looking forward to going on Thursday night.
Bridgman, and you come?
Yeah, I think I agree with Angus there. I'm looking forward to getting back to the football. So starting on Thursday night, as Ibrox, is that? Tell me the truth. It's at Ibrox.
It's at Ibrox Bridge.
Easter Road, 8 o'clock, Bridge.
Easter Road, 8 o'clock. Well, nobody there then. But I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been able to get to Ibrox for a wee while now, so we're all ready to go now. Let's see how we go on. And the team, if we could pull the players back, the ones that we put on at the weekend, and then obviously the manager's going to have something else up his sleeve, I hope. And let's see what happens. Maybe he brings in the centre halves again. Let's them get a run. I don't know. But that team, I don't think they would. They're not going to score 1 million goals. The team that we do at the weekend, but they might score a couple. Simple as that.
I think look, it was a training session, Angus, and we kind of get carried away, but we've seen a bit more intensity, mate.
Oh, most definitely, Alex. You're right in what you're saying. It was a friendly match, and to be fair, Bayer Leverkusen were absolutely weeks behind us, and I could go through their whole team. They are multi-millionaires, sort of there's a guy on the pitch who was worth over 30 million and stuff like that. But I was more encouraged by how we went about it, how we approached the first half, and as Blue Star said, there was a massive drop-off in the second half compared to the first half. But you'd have to say that Ryan Jack and Glenn Kamara definitely put their hands up and said, hey, we want to be involved on Thursday, and that was encouraging.
I'll put you on the spot. Obviously, we're going to play a 4-3-3, Angus. We're going to play some kind of 4-3-3. Even Giovanni's team were pretty close to that majority of the time. If everybody was fit, we're assuming a lot here, everybody being fit, what's your first choice?
Oh, yeah, you have to be on the spot a wee bit there, but I'll take on your challenge, okay? I think Alan McGregor will be in goals. I think it's going to be James Tavernier right back. I think it's going to be Adam Devine that's going to be playing left back. And I think it'll be... I think it's going to be a bit too soon for Connor Golson, because he can't be out that long from an injury, come back to training and then jump back into a game. I don't even think Ali McCoist had that sort of recovery comebacks, and he was amazing at coming back early from injuries.
I remember he appeared in Kiev after a cartridge operation without any games.
You're right, Ox. I think he's a world record for the sort of recovery from an operation like that. Yeah, he was absolutely unbelievable. But I think it'll be James Sands and Leon King that are going to be the sort of two centre halves. I think, midfield, I think Kamara and Jack are going to win the two central positions. And I think Ryan Kent will be out on the left. And I know this might not go down well, but I think Alfredo Morelos might start up front, because the two strikers, I've got to say, Antonio Cholak did not have a very good first 45 minutes, whereas I would say Alfredo Morelos had a very good sort of second 45 minutes. And I think, the other place is going to be Malik Tillman. I thought he, like Blue Star said, he was very, very good and had a very good attitude. So what about yourselves?
Oh, so you're pretty much close to most of the team for the first half, and you're putting Morelos in. Who did you play on the right-hand side of the forward line? I missed that. Sorry, mate.
Well, I was thinking that Malik Tillman would be sort of more involved because I think Ryan Kent out on the left. I don't know if Malik Tillman will sort of drift out towards the right from the centre position. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Right. That seems to be a bogey position for us. Jaffa, thoughts? Right, Jaffa. Bridge can do it twice. You can't. Come on, join us. Speak.
Jaffa, please.
You keep Bridge. Bridge. This disease is catching us all.
I'm sorry, pal. I'm sorry. And to everybody that listens in, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Ox. Sorry. Similar.
Too many Rockies, Jaffa. Too many Rockies.
Too many. The sugar's away in my head. Similar back four. Although I do think there's a slim chance that Connor Golson could make it. He could make it. But I would say the back four is going to be the same as what started the game on Saturday with Adam Devine at left back. Middle of the park, I think he will go with Jack and Kamara. And I suspect Lundstrom could be in there in the three. And up front, the three will be Ryan Kent, Malik Tillman, and I still think he'll go with Cholak.
Right. I think Cholak, post-start, he's a centre forward that has to begin. You need to give him the chances. And you need to get the ball in the box for him. Yeah, he's not that guy that's going to get the ball for the halfway line, beat three and batter in and a goal, is he?
No, definitely no. You put the chances across that front line and he'll get on the end of them. But for me, guys, the strange one for me was I'm not starting with Lundstrom in the midfield. And the way that he came out after the game and he was praising Kamara, saying that he wouldn't even take $6 million for the guy, for me, it's a stick on. He's more or less telling you that he's sticking with Kamara. So for me, I don't see him changing much for the first half. The only position I don't think he done anywhere near enough was the likes of Matondo. But again, he's obviously looked at films of him, so he's maybe looking at it thinking that he's going to get space again at Ibrox. But I think the midfield will be exactly the same. For me, Jack, Kamara and Tillman ran the game. So I certainly wouldn't be playing the wee man up front at Ox. For me, I'm not being funny here. He wouldn't be wearing that shirt for me again. I'm being as hard as that. For me, his attitude has been absolutely stinking. And again, even in Saturday, I think he was a boy lost out there. I think his head's already been turned. He wants away. There's no doubt about it. He's not going to be there, guys. We need to face facts here. He's not going to be there.
That's the call that the manager's got to make, isn't it? You know, and
yeah, without a doubt, Ox.
Dressing rooms are a balancing act. They are different types of strikers. I mean, let's be honest, Alfredo's not kicked him off of this for a while, Angus, but he's got a history with his, he brings other people into play. I don't know if that's Antonio Cholak's game, mate. He's a finisher for me.
Yeah, I would agree that they're totally different types of strikers. I just felt that in the second half, and Blue Star's right, we haven't seen enough from Alfredo Morelos, but I did feel that, I'm willing to sort of wipe the slate clean. And to be brutally honest, we have 4 or 5 games before the transfer window opens, so we can't drop guys and not play them, because if you drop Alfredo Morelos and put them out the squad, we're going to Robbie Ewer and a 16-year-old Zach Lovelace as our next ones, because look at Kamara Roof, he's not even he didn't even feature at the weekend, so we don't know how far away he is. And to be honest, I don't think we can rely on Kamara Roof. I'm sorry.
I think he got injured putting his socks on, mate. No. He's obviously not ready. So you wonder how long it takes somebody to get back. I get it, Angus. You You know, he's a good finisher, Kemar Roof. He's got nice touches in him, but we don't see him often enough.
No, sadly, and we were sort of going back to the memories of 55 when he was definitely one of the big reasons why we had success that season, because he really did come in, and I think he was our top goal scorer in the league. He did very, very well, but after that, he's been very fleeting and is in and out, and sadly, injuries have got the better of him.
Yeah. It was good. It was good to see. I know a lot of people were surprised with it when Fashion went off Jaffa at the weekend, but obviously the agreement was he was going to only play X amount of minutes, and they stuck to it. Yeah. And obviously he's coming back for injury as well, so there's a positive, and hopefully that's the first of many players coming back here.
Oh, Ox, to get relief on that injury medical room, I think some of his fans have even forgotten who's in there and who's actually injured. I think there'll be a few years with the guys when they come back, you'll be going, when did we sign him? Tom Lawrence, again, would be another one. Great to see him coming back from injury. Although I think from what I hear, Ox, and I think it may have been yourself, is that a New Year recovery period before we're going to see him?
That's what we're picking up.
But yeah, our injury list is still hefty, Ox, but it'd be good to see Fashion Sakala coming back. I think I like wee Fashion. I think he contributes a lot to the team, not only just on the park, Ox, but in the dressing room as well. I think he's got a great attitude to playing for the Rangers, and I think Michael Beale will have him. He'll certainly pick up game time. I'm not saying he's going to be a starter all the time, but he'll certainly contribute. And I think Michael Beale will use him wisely. Bearing in mind, he signed him, didn't he?
Yeah, that's the bizarre thing about football. Blue Star, Fashion Sakala's not got the natural ability Ryan Kent's got. But if you played the two of them over a season, Fashion will make more goals and score more goals. It's mental, isn't it?
You hit it bang on, nail in the head, Ox. It's absolutely mental. It is. We all love the wee guy. His enthusiasm rubs off on everybody, including the rest of the team, the players. He plays with a smile on his face. If he just had that, as you say, if he just had that wee bit more craft, he's got the speed. He certainly can take the ball by a player, and then what will he do? He's liable to fall down on it, or he'll hit a shot as if he was at rugby. But with the enthusiasm and his guile, you can see that he loves to pull on that shirt, and he gives his all. So you can always use somebody like that.
Aye, man. We wish him all the best in his comeback, Angus.
Oh yeah, it was very encouraging, and people were worried. Why did we sub a substitute? But I think Michael Beale explained after the game that that was the intention all along, to give him 30 minutes and then take him off. So, the same as you, the more guys we get back and sort of get back to fitness levels and get involved in the team, the more encouraging it is, because let's face it, teams tend to the bare bones, so we can do with that. Any sort of players getting back right now.
Here. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Ox, I'll call it now, mate. Like you get more callers on. Great to have you back, and as I always say, onwards and upwards, guys. Here's hoping this is the start of a new era, and then we go from strength to strength. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, stuff.
Aye, it's a new era. It's a new manager. We've not had that many in our history, Jaffa, so it's a new era.
It's only the 18th manager of our club, so it is. You're right. And we've got to always. Optimism is always high at the start, and hope that Michael Beale gets it right. The early stages are encouraging. He's had a good couple of weeks break, which has come at a great time. Ox, I've heard you saying that a few times over the last few weeks. How lucky we have been with the timing of this with this World Cup, which is still bizarre. I can't believe we're talking about a World Cup in December, but hey ho.
Yeah, you're right. I genuinely believe that because we were down to the bare bones, Angus. I know. I mean, I think the fixtures wouldn't have been great for us. You never know; it could have worked for us, but obviously, when the results went against us, I think the break came at a good time for us. If I'm being honest,
you are not alone, and I don't usually look forward to the World Cup, especially if it means putting Rangers games. But after the sort of poor results we'd had, I must admit I was looking forward to a wee bit of no Rangers games and watching a different sort of set of football because it got you down. But now, after being away now and getting a new manager in and seeing how well they did at the weekend, and I think the word they used today is buzzing for the game on Thursday night, but very much looking forward to it and looking forward to see what sort of team and performance we get.
Aye, I think everybody's, Bridgeman, looking to see how we come at the traps. And if there is a difference in the tempo and performance, and then we'll say, oh, we've done the right thing, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's all, shall we say, everything's going to be in tenterhooks till we see what happens. We must be under no illusions, both the management and the club and all the players. We can't be under any illusions what the requirement is for the rest of the season. If we want to do well, we've got to win. We've got to win from the beginning of the game and be winning still at the end. But out there, on the top of the foot, get in there, the front foot, go for it. That's what we need. We need the players to be up for it, 100%. Hopefully this manager's going to pull some strings on them and get them motivated again. And the weekend was quite a good example with some of the stuff, for patches of that game, we looked absolutely brilliant. We need that brilliant to be there most of the time now. That's what we need. Come on, Rangers, come on.
I think we'll read a lot into the first 20 minutes, Jeffer, if that makes sense. If you come out and we play fast, and we'll say, that's where we were gone wrong. But if we need to get the ball in the net.
Well, that's football, Locks, isn't it? And a lot of the time in any 90-minute game of football, we've all heard and we've all played football at different levels through our lives. It's often what you do when you've not got the ball. And in the early signs for me, I always love a team to be on it when they've not got the ball and all the players pulling in the same direction. You watch some of the World Cup, and I'm not for a minute comparing us to any of the top teams at the World Cup, but you saw the French team when they almost went in symmetry when they went on the press. There was 4 of them went on it. We've got to do that, and it's what we do off the ball. Because there'll be periods of the game when Hibs get a nibble at us and stuff like that on Thursday night, and it's all about what they do off the ball. But as we always say, goals change games. A couple of early goals can set the tempo. I would love us to go out and absolutely give them a hammering on Thursday night, and really set the team up. We give them a real confidence boost.
Here, I'm sure the manager will get a warm welcome at Ibrox. Angus?
Yeah, I think that the fans will be desperate to see Michael Beale get off to a very good start and do very well. And I don't know about you guys, but I love hearing Michael Beale interviews. And I'm no disrespect to a previous manager, but Michael Beale, he's definitely the sort of guy that when he talks, you listen. And I'm very excited about how he wants to play football. And I think Jaffa touched on it. After we scored the first goal at the weekend, our players went hunting in packs to try and get that ball back. And I hadn't seen that for, quite a while. And yeah, I'm hoping that we're going to see more of the same on Thursday.
Aye, and keep going and getting the ball back, Jaffa, and keep going, yeah?
That's what it's all about, Ox, especially when you play at a club like your club, at Rangers. It's a 90-minute performance. If you're on the park, and let's not be kidding, a lot of the players nowadays, especially the front players, we don't expect them to do it for 90 minutes. A lot of them, it's 60 minutes or 65 minutes, or even the first 45 minutes to actually get the game and get your fingers around the opposition's throat, i.e. get a couple of goals and get them on the ropes. And that's really what we've not been doing for a long time. We've been allowing teams to keep into games, giving them confidence, like teams like Livingston. So we've got to get the ball off them and keep possession, but do something with the ball, be effective with it. We've got enough creative players on the team to do it. And Saturday for me showed the glimpses all of that. As I say, keep my lid on it. It was a training exercise. It was a bounce game, for what it was. But it was played at a decent tempo, and our players, we turned up, and that's the most important thing.
Just going back to the World Cup, Bridgeman. A question for you: where are you going to go? You're not going to get your fish supper till about 6 o'clock now for the games at Ibrox with us. With the extra time, mate.
Stop getting on to me. Yeah, you're right. For people who like a fish supper, like myself, on the way back for the game, heats me right up. It's going to be a while. But yeah, I really don't know what's going to happen with the things. They're changing certain things. But I'm hopeful that everything's just nice and smooth and we don't have extra time and penalties and all that. The Rangers just get them and zap everybody. And
we'll not have penalties in league games, will we?
No. But any of these games are extra time and penalties and all that nonsense, Although it did cause a lot of excitement in the World Cup, so it was quite exciting to watch,
Always does, and we've got to wish we're on Borna Barisic, who's involved in the squad. They're in the semi-final. You've got to be in it to win it, Jaffa.
They've done tremendously well, Ox, to be fair to them. They're just one of those small nations. They just, every time they're a great tournament team, aren't they? There was always that team when you were growing up as well that were always there or thereabouts. The last 6, the last 8 or the last 4, they get into the semis, they were all getting to the finals. Croatia deserve an unbelievable amount of credit. They really do. And I wouldn't write them off either from getting to the final, Ox. Especially with that Modric in their team. He's a player.
Just a bit, mate. Just a bit. Do you know who it reminds me a lot of?
Myself.
Aye. Myself. Aye. Well said, mate. Right. Aye. So, Michael Beale's new era. We can't change the personnel because there's no transfer window. What do you think is going to happen, Angus? Do you think we'll come out and we'll play a similar style, or do you think there'll be more flexibility in it?
Yeah, I think Michael Beale will want to put his own sort of stamp and the way he plays, and you can see that even against Bayer Leverkusen, that there's going to be a different tempo to the team, and we were very much used to Gio at the start, keeping the 0, and he had some very good performances in the Europa League, not so good performances in the Champions League, and latterly the league performances were very good. But yeah, I'm expecting to see a totally different sort of momentum from the team, and more energy and more determination, and a bit like the Rangers we want and have accustomed to under Gerrard.
Jaffa?
I think it'll have its own identity, Ox. I think you'll see over the course of the next half a dozen games or 8 games. I think you'll see Michael Beale, and I think he gave you reading between the lines after the game on Saturday. He alluded to the team not being fit enough to play the system exactly the way that he wants to play at this moment in time. He was a bit kinder with his words in saying that. He didn't directly say the team are not as fit as they should be. But that's what he meant, and that's what he was alluding to. And that's not going to happen over a couple of weeks. That's going to happen over game time, over the next 5 or 6 weeks. There's no European fixtures, but there's plenty of league fixtures, certainly. I think Michael Beale's team is going to be a high press, and I think that fluidity at the top of the park, the front 3 or the front 4, depending how many and who he's playing, I think is going to be critical to the way that we play. And that's why I think he's identifying guys like Malik Tillman, Alec Lowry, and he's going to have as many forward players, and Ryan Kent, obviously, Ox. Let's not be kidding about it. Ryan Kent did look like a different player on Saturday.
Bridgeman, how do we solve this conundrum we've got with our so-called outside right?
Well, do we? To be honest, I don't know. I the boy that Matondo or something like that. Is that his name? Matondo. I would think we've got to persist with him till he comes good. That's what I think.
Wow.
He's got pace. No, he's got pace.
He's got pace.
Or he's got to go out of the place altogether because there's a dichotomy there. Either the boy's in the squad or he's not in the squad. Is he going to be in the team or he's not going to be in the team? Because we see him, certainly you see him differently from I do. I think he's a very pacey boy, but he's got problems, he's got weakness. He runs into players a lot, but he's still quite a good player. However, does he fit the team? Does he fit the rest of the team? I don't think so. I think he's going to struggle. But the manager, as he stands now, the new manager, he's going to have to give the boy a chance and don't just write him off or past endeavours. He's got to give him a chance and let's see how he does, both at training and at the game. He might only get till the end of this year, and then make decisions made on him. But I'd like to see him playing out in the right against Hibs. Really good to see.
You seem to have a conundrum out there, Angus.
We do, and I just received a message from a sort of regular caller, Mr. Alex Kelly, that I'd forgot to put in his favourite player into the team. So my apologies. I'd forgot about John Lundstrom, and
you don't need to worry. Alex will not be there on Wednesday. He's not get any free tickets. You'll love me for that. Carry on. I'll get a text.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Alex will be firing back at you. Don't worry, he's not shy in that way. But no, I think the right hand side. I'm not so sure about Matondo. We have seen him a few times, and I can only think of the pre-season game against West Ham where I thought, oh wow, this looks like a player. But the more I thought about it, I'm thinking, is that because West Ham were only just back in training and they're weeks off everything else, because he's not shown very much since. And then the only other showing was against a Bayer Leverkusen team who were weeks behind in training. So yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum about Matondo. You really want him to do well, but there's very little evidence of him to show that.
If he was a boy that comes through the ranks, I don't think he would be getting the chances, Jaffa, if I'm being honest.
Ox, I don't know. Was it British football he came through, Matondo? I mean, I know he was at Schalke, and then he was out on loan in Belgium.
I think he was born in Liverpool. Maybe he's got a Wales connection, and then he ended up Man City signed him, and then the next thing he was away for big money. I couldn't believe when one night on here somebody said check it out and he went for £11 million or something. Crazy. I
mean, in all honesty, Ox, if he's in Scotland coming through any club, I don't think he gets near the first team. He's still. I mean, I don't know if the young lad. Maybe I'm being really unfair on him. He is good. He's got pace, and I haven't seen him do anything else. And he's had quite a lot of game time, and I've not really seen him do much else. I've never seen him go by a guy. I've not seen him come back. I've not seen him pick up space. I've not seen him link up very well. I've not really seen him putting any telling balls into the box. In fact, I think his decision making is really quite poor, if the truth be told. And it was the same again on Saturday. I mean, he was trying to put balls into the box, and there was nobody in the box. There was no front forward. We broke out. He broke away with the ball, and he ran down the right hand wing, and he got a ricochet, and the ball went away down into the corner, and he just lumped it into the middle of the park, in the middle of the box, and there was nobody there. There was no front forward player that managed to get up with him because he's too pacey. So he should, at least Kent, when he does that, Kent's got the intelligence to come back inside or double back and bring someone else in, or at least let the players catch up with him. But Matondo didn't do that on Saturday. So, sorry, I know that's very critical of the young lad. And I still hope he can make it, but maybe Michael Beale can do his magic with him.
Aye, maybe a change of personnel, unit instructions might help the young lad, Angus, maybe.
Yeah, I think that might be the hope, but whether that happens in reality, I'm not so sure. And I remember certain people telling us that the Schalke fans were absolutely delighted to even have got $3 million for him after them spending close to 11 million on him. So I don't know. You both have said it, that he's quite a young guy, and hopefully Beale, being such a very good coach, might be able to get the best out of him. So I'm not going to write him off, but yeah, he's starting from quite a low position.
Yeah, if we park him out of there, we've still got a problem in that one position, Jaffa. But I think we named about 20 odd players we tried in there, and, you know.
Well, he tried Scott Wright out there on Saturday in the second half, Ox, didn't he? And I mean, I don't really recall Scott getting involved in anything. Again, you know, he's had his moments, Scott Wright, with us. He's had the odd game where he's, you know, the Hearts in the cup final where he was really effective in the extra time. He done very well, I have to say, in the Europa League Cup final. He was effective in that game, and he was involved in quite a lot. But I'm not sure if Scott Wright's the answer either. It's, as you say, Ox, it's a conundrum and a half, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different, that position, yeah. That position, I don't know. I don't know. First choice. I suppose if everybody was fit, Hadji might be the first choice for it week in, week out. Angus, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think we really have missed Hadji, and you know, he just offers us something a little different, and he's got the ability. But I think that we have a guy in Alec Lowry, and I'm willing to put my neck out on this. You know, play that boy, because he is a magical wee player, and you know, he sees things and he does things, and even in his just very short 20-minute cameo role at the weekend, he brought so much to the team, and I just think we have to start playing him and get the best out of him, because I think he's going to be a star for us if we play him, because he's a magical wee player.
I don't know if he could play. I don't know if he could play in that position, but yeah, we'll see what it takes us. They've definitely got ability. That position, centre forward position now. If you had a combination between Cholak and Morelos, what a player it'd be, Jaffa, then Bridge.
Oh, absolutely, Ox. That's. I mean, if you could melt the two of them together, yeah, two of them have got great attributes, Ox. But you know, I think Alfie, I don't know where his head is, Ox. You know, we'll find that out in the coming weeks. You know, whether he knuckles down and contributes if he doesn't get a start, or if the head goes down again. You know, I don't know where the young lad is, Morelos, for his own sake and for his football. You know, and I love Alfredo Morelos to bits. I really do, and I think all of us as Rangers fans do. But the head's not in the right place just now. But he's got to show, and if Morelos can get his head into the right place, what a player! Because he is a player. He can ragdoll a three pairing at the back, a two pairing, give him four at the back. It doesn't, nothing phases him, and that's a job that's quite unique in modern football. Cholak's a different player, Ox. He's just a goal machine. He's a 6-yard box man, but you need to put the ball in there for him to do it.
Different animals. Bridge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, we all know how I feel about Morelos. I need Morelos to do a lot more than he's doing. But my goodness gracious, I've thought for a while he was the best player we had, without the shadow of doubt. His hold up play, he's pulling the ball in. As Shafa said there, he can ragdoll really well known, some world status in centre halves. He's ragdolled them, he's bullied them, he's battered them stupid, he's done all that. See now. No, really and truly, he's becoming a wee bit of, shall we say, a joke figure, because his ability, he thinks his ability's there, but it's not there. He's nowhere near match fit, that boy. But it's got to come, and he's got to play. And I don't know how the manager's going to do it. They're going to have to pull off some miracle to get him right. But a great player. But if you take him, I would like to see him and Kolak. Couldn't get a boy.
Yeah.
I like to see him and Kolak together playing as a two up front. But no the way Alfie is now. He needs to be fit. When he's fit, they could make a good pair, I think.
I think there was a time for that. I think for Fredo, the clock's ticking in his career, Angus, if I'm being honest. Yeah?
Yeah, I would have to say Oxford. He will never play for a bigger club than Glasgow Rangers. He might play for a team that give him more money and stuff like that, but, the boys I think he said maybe had 3 wage rises already, so, the sort of numbers that you're hearing that he's going for is just unbelievable. If he thinks he can get a move and find that, good luck to him. But I think I'm glad the sort of board have said no, we're not willing to sort of put ourselves in any financial trouble to give guys like that a deal. And I was wanting to ask yourself and Jaffa and Bridge a question, if that's all right.
All right, I'm all right, but don't make it too hard for the other two, all right?
Okay. No, I was just, obviously with January coming up and knowing that we've got a sort of limited transfer sort of budget, I was just saying, what one player or one position would you like to see strengthened in January?
Oh, that's some question, because if you look at the squad this now, mate, we know that we'll get an issue with our goalkeeping getting old. And if you take it a snapshot for Saturday, we're really short in centre halves. We're about 5 coming back for injury. Well, 4. Who are potentially first choice players, and within that there's internationalists. Some question. Jaffa.
Thanks, bat it over. It's a good question, Angus. One I've actually been thinking a wee bit about where he might go in the transfer market. I didn't think just one player. I guess a lot of that, the caveat before I answer the question is, depends who leaves, doesn't it? If Kent and Morelos go in January, then he would need to replace the left-hand side of the pitch, wouldn't he? That would be the one fundamental reason.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He would need to go out and get a replacement for Kent somewhere along the line, Ox. That would be my. Other than that, again, depending on injury, probably a centre half would be my second shout. I know it was one player, but that would be my 2 areas in the pitch that I suspect would probably need some work done. If Kent leaves, then I think it would most definitely be an attacking left-sided player.
Good.
Well, the question's there. Is he going to do anything about getting rid of players or letting people go or whatever at the Christmas time or New Year time? I would hope that he makes way, and please, that big monster I've been screaming about, get me a big monster centre half. Dearly and truly, we're so weak from a defensive perspective. We're so weak. We haven't given
how many goals have we lost at Ibrox this season in the league?
Oh, I can't tell you. I can't remember, pal. Not
3.
very many, I must admit.
3.
But it's
3.
Well, that's fine. But it's 3. But the truth is, we're losing goals elsewhere. We're very, very weak at the back, and we need to get it strengthened. And the 2 key positions are your twin centre backs. And if you're getting past them, which they are, by free kicks or big lumps up the park and things like that, and we can't handle it. I want somebody who can be a complete defender, just defend, heed the ball, boot the guy out, whatever he needs to do, get the ball clear. That's what I want. I don't know, I'll get it, mind you.
I'll go back to my original point. If we were to solve the right-hand side, I think it would help improve our team, but we've got that many people that's played there. If I was signing one position first, who was going to be a first choice for the next 3 years, I think I would have to look at the goalkeeping situation. But then we've also got a problem on the right-hand side of our team, Angus.
Yeah, I was going to say to Bridge, I think I've got a perfect man. I've been listening to Bridge for months, and I was thinking, see the World Cup, I don't know if we got the wrong brother, the Suter boys, because Harry Suter is 6'6", and I thought he was immense for Australia. He is exactly as you were describing, a guy who just clears everything out of the box. And I believe that young Harry Suter is a big Rangers fan, and he was actually over in Seville watching Rangers in the Europa League final.
Yeah, I think they come for good stock, the brothers. Strange one, that Jaffa one played for Australia.
It's mental, isn't it? Really, it's bizarre. You'd expect that down the park, wouldn't you, on a Sunday morning?
It was like you calling your daughters one garage and one tunnel, wasn't
it? A nice one, aye.
Aye, Harry Suter, but he wasn't a guy that was commanded. Well, the second and third game, I thought he played well for Australia, but he wasn't a guy that bridge won. He wasn't a guy that came and won it, but he put everything on the line for his team, didn't he? Blocks.
Oh, 100%. And you would expect that at that competition, and they were playing quite well against them. But the truth is, I know he was big. I know he can be quite severe in his tackles and things like that. But I don't see him as the answer. I'm not advocating him, but he's a big fella. It's someone like that I'm looking for. But I want someone that can actually play a bit of football too, because that's what Rangers need. Need someone that can actually be a bit casual when possible, and read the game, pass the ball, get to somebody that can play. The good wee midfielders that come back and do a bit of fetch and carry. Make sure you feed that guy. If you could do that, then you'll do very, very well. Because sometimes we can't find our midfielders. Sometimes we just pass the ball and we're passing it to nobody. That's what it was like last season. Passing it to no one. And you wonder, why do we lose goals? All of a sudden, you've got the ball, you're on the attack, you're 40 yards inside their box, inside their half, and you lose the ball. And all of a sudden, there's 3 or 4 of them pounding down the top of you. That's easy to beat. So we need someone who's got a bit of skill up the top as well, up in the head as well. Read the game, pass the ball, the easy pass. Because I always, when you're young, they all told you, let the ball do the work.
All they killer centre halves, Jaffa, they can only kick it the way they're facing. No, I mean, let's be honest, no.
So the decent wee midfielders need to be in front of him.
So Bridge when he signed Franco Baresi, That's
please don't say that, because he's my idol. He's the greatest centre half there's ever been by a long, long way.
What height was he, Bridge?
I think he was only about 6'1" or something like that.
I don't even think he was that, Bridge. I don't even think he was that.
He might not even have been that, but see him, I would take him and somebody else would guard him, somebody, a security guy beside him.
7'2", nobody kicks him. One of the ones at the last dance. Anyway, Angus, we've reached that time of the evening. Great to speak to you, mate.
Oh, not at all. Pleasure phoning again and having a chance to speak to you guys. And I would like to wish all 3 of you a very happy and Merry Christmas when it comes to you and your families. And hopefully on Thursday night, the sort of mood around Rangers is completely turned around and onwards and upwards, as Bruce always says.
Here, mate. Thanks for the call, and don't be a stranger. We'll speak to you soon, Angus, yeah?
Yeah. And have a good one, and enjoyed speaking to you guys.
Cheers, mate.
Bye, Angus.
Jaffa.
Yep, thanks, Ox. Great night. Thanks for having me on. First one back. It's good to be back and back on Rangers Radio. Looking forward to Thursday night, Ox. I can't wait. Get the football back.
Here, Bridge. 8 o'clock kick-off tomorrow night, Mr. Bridge. Ibrox.
Tomorrow night? Beat it, you.
Thursday. Sorry. Well, just do them on it right now.
Just go there anyway. No, look, wonderful to be back, and Jaffa, thanks for carrying me. It's really good, and obviously big thanks to yourself, Fox, dear, and the Techie boys, and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. Please remember this: we got a huge game. Next game is the biggest game of the season. The next game at Ibrox against the Hibs. Get out there and leather them. Come on, the Rangers. Everybody keep it going for the Rangers. Can we need this?
Here. Can I thank Jaffa and Bridge, and of course Angus and Blue Star, Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technical team. The technicals, and thanks for everybody for listening. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night once again, building up to a big game at Ibrox on Thursday. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Rangers do not Ibrox is the place, and we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to queue and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We've spent a lot of money on great players, yes, that's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Ago the story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox trophy room. Yes, it's true,